Hi, from this lecture onwards, let's start to learn about walls. In this lecture, let's talk about walls, chain option and shapes. The wall tool is here. Before getting to the wall tool, here I have a drop down button. If I drop down, I have wall architecture, wall structure and wall by face. We are going to get into the wall architecture. So I don't want to drop down. If I click here, that is wall architecture only. And if you check here, we have the keyboard shortcut for the wall is WA. And when I select the wall command, there's a change in user interface. In the ribbon, in the options bar, in the properties palette, and in the left corner of the status bar. And in the properties, you can check the default wall is a basic wall and generic 8 inches. And creating a wall is very simple. We have to find a start point and we have to click on end point. That's it. And normally it is creating with a chain option. We have already learnt about these things. It is creating the chain of wall because in the options bar we have the chain option selected. If you uncheck this chain option, then we'll be able to select the individual walls like this. But normally I recommend you to check this chain option so that you can continue with the chain option. In any case, if you don't want to get into the chain option, if you want to break the chain option, you can click the escape key only one time. If you hit escape key one time, you can get out from the chain option, then you can continue with the chain. Again, hit escape key one time, you can get out from the chain option. And if you hit escape two times, you'll get out of the command completely. You can also get out from the command completely by clicking the modify tool. Okay, I'll select everything and I'll go to the filter and say check none and select the walls and say okay and I'll delete. Now let's get into the wall shape, but before getting to this, I'll open a 3D view and I'll say WT and ZA to zoom all and I'll draw a wall. Now when I draw a wall, basically if you come to the shapes here, by default the line is selected. That's why I'm drawing the lines here. So my wall is created in 3D as a straight line. I'll change my visual styles to shaded. Now if I change the shapes to rectangle, I can draw a rectangular wall and I can proceed with the polygonal shapes. We have two types of polygons. We have already covered this with the model line and detail line. You can also create circular walls. And start end radius arc method, I can select the start point and end point. Then we can define the radius. And this also has the chain option. I can continue with the chain. See? But here, when it comes to the tangential edge, it is snapping. I can click there. I'll hit modify. Again, I'll say WA for the wall. And the next tool is tangent end arc. I can continue from an end point and continue with the tangent end arc. And then we have a fillet arc. I'll select the fillet arc. I'll select two edges and I can fillet that. And I can define the radius. I can enter the value here exactly. If I need 8 feet, I can say 8 feet, enter. Then we have ellipse and we have elliptical arc. Very straightforward. And then we had one more tool here called pick lines. In order to go to the pick lines option, we need lines. For that, I'll use the model line. I'll say LI and I'll draw a model line. And I'll draw again LI. This time I'll draw an arc using the model line. Now what I can do is I can see these model lines in 2D and 3D. I can convert this model line into wall. I'll select the wall command and I'll select the pick lines and I'll pick this line that is converted into wall. Again, I'll select the pick line and select the arc that is converted into walls. Okay, that's it. I'll select everything and I'll say filter, check none, select the walls and lines, say okay, and I'll delete. That's all about chain option and shapes of the wall. Let's further study about the walls in the next lecture.